For this project, the Shaper Origin turned out to be the perfect tool for the job.
Now, the lady that contacted me wanted an urn in the shape of a cross, and so we made sure we got the size right. She actually was able to get the crematory to divide the ashes into several different bags so they would fit within this odd shaped box. And this is some of what she wanted it to read. Dad, grandpa, great grandpa, great great grandpa, right? He was also a member of the Masons and a big 49ers fan. So super fun project. It was a simple project, really. And this Shaper Origin, it was a perfect project for the Shaper Origin. Made it easy to do all this. The lettering, this has onboard lettering built right onto the machine. The logos, I actually found those logos and then just made sure they were SVG files, and you can either ship those right over to this via Wi-Fi, or what I did is I put them on the flash drive. So a lot of versatility with this machine, and yeah, a lot of fun. Anyway,
Join me. Yeah, I was honored to build this piece. So I'm using aromatic cedar, and this material is maybe 3/8 to ½ inch, probably about 7/16 thick, or about 10, 11 millimeters. And after cutting these miters at the chop saw, I'm using a shooting board and a shooting plane to shoot those miters, get everything nice and clean for a really good fit. I sometimes think that it's a big misconception that putting a few miters together is a simple task. If you think about it, there's 8 separate cuts there, and if one of them is off ½ a degree, then none of them will fit. Similar to a picture frame, every one of those angles needs to be exactly 45 to make 90. So I decided to add some dominoes, and I'm guessing that these are probably a 5 millimeter. And I'm using my domino dock. So this XL700 is in a vertical position, obviously, and it's in a cradle or one of my domino docks. And it makes it so much easier to cut mortises in small parts like this. So instead of bringing the tool to the work, I'm bringing the work to the tool. It's fast, safe, accurate, and just cool. I believe this had overnight to dry, so we could pull the clamps off and get everything nice and flush. Of course, my tool of choice, weapon of choice, is a belt sander. It's very effective, fast, efficient, and of course I'm introducing some cross-grain scratches to the pieces that are adjacent, that are turned 90 degrees, but with a fine belt, like maybe a 180 grit, those will be really minimal, and then I can come back with a DA sander and smooth all that out, get rid of all those cross-grain scratches. This shows a bunch of the box sides cut and mitered, and I'm just gluing everything up in sub-assemblies using this 90 degree domino deck plate to make sure everything glues up 90 degrees, right? Pretty straightforward here. Once I have the box glued up and it's dry, I just basically sand it flat. Then I check it here on the table saw. Everything came out nice and true. All right, onto the shaper. So if you're not familiar with this machine, essentially what it is, or basically what it is a handheld router with CNC capability. And that tape that you saw on the workpiece, that domino looking tape, are markers, and you scan those markers with the machine. It has a built-in computer. It reads all that, it stitches it together, it knows now exactly where it's at in 3D space. Of course, what I'm doing here is just getting familiar with these two patterns, just practice pieces basically. Here on this letter G, I have the machine set where it's on auto function, and so I just need to stay within the parameter of that circle, and the machine will automatically make the cut around that tool path. It's fantastic. Super fun to use and pretty easy to get the hang of. So I'm using an engraving bit, and it's set for maybe a couple of thousandths deep. And you can see the detail here. These things are only about 3 inches across. So those are the practice runs. I think I'm ready for the real deal. All right, so this is sped up about 4 times, and you can see the router plunges down when you push the green button, which is also on auto mode if you hold the button down. And you can see that all I have to do is attempt to keep that moving dot within that circle, and it does the rest. And if it comes to the edge of that circle and I haven't kept up, then it just stops. Or if I move abruptly, then the machine will just abort. So you really can't even screw up. It's amazing technology. All right, so I have a few markings to do on the left side of that mason's square. You can hear the vacuum, has excellent vacuum. Router's plunging down. This is in real time. You can see that moving dot. That's the machine, the router, following that tool path. I'm keeping that within that circle, and the rest is automatic.
All right. There's the Mason symbol there. Over here on this right side, and probably doesn't make much sense, but this is a cross. And on this right side, we're going to put a 49ers logo, right? So I can grab, let's see, I can grab the logo. Here it is. I've already downloaded it onto the machine. I can grab it. And initially, I had set up on the machine or with the machine an XY axis with the relationship to this board right here. So this is X, this is Y, and I know exactly where I want this logo. I have a center mark drawn on here. Double check, 14 1/8. So since I have that XY established, it shows me right where I'm at, where the cutter would be. You might not be able to see it, but on the screen it says X 14, Y 1.5. I need to be 14 1/8. Boom, snaps to 14 1/8. I need to move it 1.75, 1.875. That's inch and 7/8, and 14 1/8 over, right? So I know I'm in the right spot to be in the center of that logo. And then I'm going to scale that logo. I don't know what size it is. It brought it in at 4 point something. I want that logo. It's an oval. I want it 3 3/4 wide. So we go in here, 3.75 wide. Done. There's the width. It's in the right place. And then I just push place. And boom, there it is. Kind of cool, right? So it's ready to cut. So I can come over here, go to cut mode, and make sure these are all right. Outside, I want to be on the line. And then, I don't know if that shows. Let me zoom in. Here, let me just grab this, dude. You can see, so that's what it's going to cut right there. You can see the little marching ants. It's actually in a directional, so it shows you where you need to cut. If I wanted to start on a different area, you can see how it highlights that area that it is reading to cut. So you can start anywhere you want, really. How cool is that? Man, I love this thing. It is super fun. Okay, so with that same established X, Y axis, I can, well, let me just show you. So I'm gonna put Grandpa on here. then great-grandpa, and then great-great-grandpa. That's what the client wanted. So let's put that in. Grandpa. Done. And so going off that same XY axis, I changed, let's see, did I? Yeah, I modified the grid to 16ths because from this edge to the center is 10 and 15 sixteenths. So I've got it in here at 10.938, right? Rounds off. And then I can go, since my y-axis was here, I'm going below it or toward me, so it's going to be negative, and I need to be negative 1.25 inch and a quarter. And that's right where it is, man. It is so easy. Just intuitive. So boom, boom, everything looks right, and you can place. Boom, it's ready to go. Let's go to cut. So I can double check everything on the line, 0, that, and how big are my letters? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Height, 0.53, that's correct. So I actually just brought in another one, so I'm just going to cancel that. That first one is right. Come over here. We'll start with a G. Cut mode.
All right, this is an excellent video to show the operation. Basically, that green button on the right pushes the router down. You hold the button down, and then you attempt to follow the tool path. Of course, it does the rest. It takes a human error out of it. And then you push the button on the left to retract the router and move on to the next letter. Could not be easier or simple.
I think my letter size on the height might have been a little bit big, so it's kind of close to the edge, but it'll be all right. Grandpa. That is awesome. So we got great-grandpa and great-great-grandpa to do down here.
And I apologize. I realize some of this video is redundant, but I'm learning this tool and I don't want to make any mistakes.
All right, so I got one more set of letters here, great. So let me show you how this works. So this has onboard letters. I mean, they're block letters, kind of basic, but still very cool. So going to design, create, text basic. I've already got it in there because I've done great already. So done. Check the height, 0.53. That's right. I need placement, which is going to be the center of this cross, which is 10 and, let me zoom this in. 10 and 15 sixteenths. Let me see if that shows up. Oops. Yeah, you can see that. X-axis is 10.938. 10 and 15 sixteenths. And then I need 3 and 3/8, negative 3 and 3/8 off my line. So 3.375. Boom. Right there it is. Place. Just that easy. All right, let's give this a go. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that's right. Okay. Mi scusi, I'm still learning.
All right, no mistakes. I can pop all this loose and it'll make more sense. Right now it's just, yeah. But cross shape, Mason logo, 49ers, dad, grandpa, great-grandpa, great-great-grandpa. Oh, man, I love it.
Let's pop this thing loose. Now, of course, I had tacked this down with some 23 gauge brads, and those little brads are in the waist part of the cross. Of course, the cross is big. It'll get cut to size here in a little bit. Now, this next part, I'm not really sure why I left this in here, but when I saw it, I thought, oh, I'm just going to leave it because it shows the versatility of this most underutilized tool in the workshop, and that's belt sanders. And so I decided to leave it. And I have another YouTube video called Belt Sanders Tips and More, and it'll show you how to unlock this fabulous tool. And another bit of a side note here, this Jax product is a mild solution of selenious acid, and it's a great way to patina that brass. Sometimes it's just not quite appropriate. I wanted some darker colors. Came out fabulous. All right, there's the finished project. I was humbled and honored to make this special piece. I hope you got something out of these videos. Thanks a ton for watching.